Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. You've sent us some truly unique source material for this deep dive. Definitely not your typical articles or, research papers. These are lyrical excerpts, almost poetic texts, tied to music tracks called Putzen, which means cleaning in German.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating angle, isn't it? Taking these, well, evocative descriptions instead of, say, instructions.
Exactly, not how-to guides. So our mission really for this deep dive is to figure out what these unusual sources are telling us about cleaning itself. Is it just about scrubbing surfaces until they sparkle? Or, do these words hint at something deeper, maybe stranger, even a bit unsettling, perhaps?
About what happens when we try to get rid of dirt and make things orderly.
We're going to look closely at the language, the specific images used across these different mixes you shared.
We'll sort of start with the obvious stuff, the tangible results of cleaning that the texts describe, and then move towards some of the more abstract, maybe unexpected ideas they connect to it.
Right. So, get ready for a deep dive into, well, yes, dirt and gleam, but also shadows, secrets, and something they call das Unheimliche, the uncanny. All through the lens of cleaning, according to this material you sent over.
Okay, where do we start? The surface level.
Yeah, let's start there. The most obvious thing in these sources, the clear goal is achieving cleanliness, order. That phrase, es weiß machen, es rein machen, make it white, make it clean, that comes up a lot.
Yes, that's definitely the foundation here. It's about that physical change, the visible result cleaning is supposed to, well, achieve.
And they really paint a picture of that success, don't they? Descriptions like Amateuren blitzen, so the fixtures are gleaming. Fensterglas, clear window glass.
Right.
Glatte Oberflächen alles poliert. Smooth surfaces, everything polished, Fliesen glänzen, tiles shining. There's a real focus on that sparkle, Alles glänzt und blitz. Everything gleams and sparkles.
It is very focused on the achievement, like you said. Getting rid of the dirt, phrases like,
Right, no hidden dirt.
kein Krümel mehr hier, not a crumb left. And der Dreck ausgeschämt, the dirt is washed away. Sounds like a complete purge, really.
And it's not just about removing dirt, it's also about imposing order. Regal sortiert, shelves sorted. Mobile justiert, symmetrisch, furniture adjusted symmetrically. It really depicts the state of achieved tidiness, visual perfection. That seems to be the ideal.
That's the surface, the goal achieved.
Okay, so that's the gleaming surface, the apparent win over chaos. But here's where it gets interesting and where the tension starts right away in these texts. Despite all this talk of absolute cleanliness, polished surfaces, they keep mentioning things being hidden, or things that remain even after the cleaning's done. They actually ask, was bleibt verborgen, what remains hidden?
Yeah, that introduces a core contradiction almost immediately. How can everything be gleaming and sorted, yet things are still hidden?
Exactly. And the texts give examples like alte Geheimnisse unter Schichten versteckt, bald, old secrets soon hidden under layers.
Hidden under layers.
Or Lufening on Flüstern verliert. In the silence, a whisper gets lost. And this one really struck me. Dunkel Flecken flüstern Erinnerung verblasst. Dark spots whisper, memory faded.
Wow.
So the cleaning happens, the surfaces shine, but the secrets, the whispers, the memories, they aren't necessarily gone. They just seem to, shift, become hidden differently, or maybe their presence is felt in a new way now.
It suggests that what's unseen isn't just, a dust bunny they missed.
Right.
The sources even mention jedes Geheimnis entdeckt, every secret discovered, which could mean cleaning uncovers secrets.
Ah, okay.
But the framing makes it sound like they're still secrets, maybe known only to the cleaner now, still hidden from the world. So the idea of verborgen, what's hidden, it feels like it goes beyond just physical stuff. It points to things that are maybe intentionally concealed or just inherently hidden, even in a perfectly clean space.
So cleaning the physical space might, paradoxically, bring these hidden things more into focus, make them known, but the cleaning itself doesn't actually erase them or resolve them.
Exactly. They just become known secrets.
Yeah.
Still there. It's this interaction between the physical act and this, non-physical layer of hiddenness that just persists. The gleaming surface exists right alongside stuff that's just fundamentally not on the surface.
Okay, so building on that idea, things lingering or unseen in this perfect space, shadows play a really significant role in these sources.
Oh, definitely.
We hear things like Schatten lachen hinter jedem vor. Shadows left behind everyone or everything. Die Schatten verschwommen is kein Ideal. The shadows blurred is no ideal. And then, really powerfully, kein Schattener dieses Haus. No shadows this house.
Right, or sometimes they vergehen, they pass away, vanish.
Yeah. The presence, or sometimes the stark absence of shadows, feels very deliberate in these texts. Shadows are often where things hide, where edges get softer, right? So getting rid of shadows seems like an extension of getting rid of dirt, of imperfection.
And the texts seem to link that lack of shadows to descriptions of silence and emptiness, like, die eye still sunk, the silence sinks down. Or, alle Ecken leer, kein Geräusch, kein Glanz. All corners empty, no noise, no gleam. The space is clean, empty, silent. But, does this quiet, perfect space actually feel peaceful?
Well, not really, according to these texts. They suggest this perfect order, this kind of vacuum of noise and visual complexity like shadows provide. It can feel occulted.
Cold, yeah, unsettling. The lack of expected background noise, the lack of that visual sort of refuge that shadows can offer, it becomes its own kind of unsettling presence. The perfect order gets rid of physical mess, sure, but it seems to create a different kind of disquiet.
Or
Emptiness.
it's like the space is too perfect, too still, holding its breath maybe. Or maybe something vital is missing, something that should bring warmth or comfort.
Or maybe something disturbing is actually highlighted because everything else has been cleared away. It becomes starker.
And this feeling, this unease, this sense that something's really off despite the shiny surfaces and the quiet, that leads us to probably the most striking and recurring element in these sources. Das Unheimliche, the uncanny. This phrase shows up multiple times. What is this strange element doing here, in the context of cleaning?
Well, this is where the texts really seem to move beyond just describing housework. It feels like they're exploring a psychological state, maybe even existential. The uncanny isn't just a feeling here, it's almost personified. It's given agency.
Right. The sources say, das Unheimliche spricht. The uncanny speaks. It hands, dances. It stands stood. It's active. It's present. Almost like another character, existing behind that clean facade or maybe in that unsettling silence.
Its significance here feels profound because it introduces something that's fundamentally wrong or strange within the supposedly clean, ordered space. It's that classic uncanny feeling, familiar yet alien, something that just doesn't sit right, defies easy explanation, especially when you're just talking about tidying up. It's the unease that order itself can't seem to contain.
And they use some incredibly vivid, almost surreal images to get this across. Gabeln, Tanzen, fork stands.
Fork stance, yeah.
Ordnung den Verstand schmatzt oder smacks the mind. That's a weird one.
It is. And Seele vergraben in Ordnung erklärt, soul buried, explained in order. Or alles gemalt in perfect ruin, everything painted in perfect ruin.
Yeah, perfect ruin, wow.
These images just capture that jarring contrast so well. The intense effort to create perfect external order seems to coexist with, or maybe even enable, these deeply strange, unsettling things. The uncanny is there despite the cleaning, or maybe even because of it, because of the order it creates. It feels like the real core of the disquiet these texts are exploring, the perfect surface, somehow reveals, rather than hides, the deep strangeness underneath or within.
So if we look at the whole picture these sources paint, cleaning is definitely not coming across as a simple chore. It's described with really intense language phrases like Intensität wurden gefickt, which sounds like intensity was messed up or violated.
Yeah, intense.
And im Aufwärtsspiel geht die Reise nicht voran. In the upright game, the journey doesn't proceed. It suggests a difficult struggle, maybe even a futile one.
It feels less like tidying up and more like a ritual to use, Ordnung verrichtet, orders performed or carried out.
Or even a battle, not just against physical dirt, but against these shadows that linger, the secrets, and this ever-present uncanny thing.
And that, I think, brings us to the fundamental takeaway here. These sources seem to be using the very familiar act of cleaning as this powerful, maybe unsettling metaphor.
A metaphor for what, exactly?
Well, they suggest that the human drive to create perfect external order, polishing every surface, trying to hide every secret, might not actually eliminate chaos or strangeness. It might, kind of paradoxically, reveal internal chaos or unresolved secrets, or that persistent, unsettling strangeness. Das Unheimlich, that you just can't wipe away.
Ah, okay. So it's the tension between that gleaming surface you work so hard for.
Exactly. And that deeper, weirder reality the texts describe, where whispers hang in the air and maybe forks start dancing.
Precisely. The act of cleaning becomes the lens, doesn't it? The lens through which these deeper, more unsettling things are not just seen, but actively encountered.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So there you have it, our deep dive into how these, well, lyrical sources portray cleaning as something way more complex than just getting rid of dirt. We've seen it presented as this process tangled up with hidden secrets, persistent shadows, the chase for a sometimes unnerving kind of perfect order, and the undeniable active presence of das Unheimliche.
These texts really do consistently show us this world where, yes, surfaces gleam and everything's in its place,
Uh-huh.
but whispers linger in the silence, secrets stay hidden even when discovered, and something uncanny is actively present, right there behind the polish.
It really does transform the everyday act of tidying up into something almost, well, surreal,
Yeah.
deeply psychological.
Yeah, right.
So based on these texts, maybe cleaning isn't just about the visible dirt we get rid of. Maybe it's also about what we try to push out of sight, what becomes visible because everything else is gone, and ultimately what just stays present no matter how much we polish.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. What does your own act of cleaning reveal or hide? Something to ponder.